Good afternoon. Welcome to the CI Tools webinar. My name is Josh Osborne and I'm the product manager for the CI Tools here at Central Innovation. And this is a weekly webinar that we do to talk about stuff to do with the CI Tools, as you can probably guess by the name. Today we are going to be looking at the fit out tool. I thought this week what we might do is have a look at the fit out and just go into a little bit of detail on how to work with the component and assembly system. So I'll do a brief introduction to fit out first. We won't go super deep into how the tool in general works, but we'll play some fit outs and show you how it works roughly. And then we will jump into having a look at some of the parameters that are available for you in scheduling, as that's one of the big areas that we wanted to make sure the tool could cover off well. So yeah, we're going to have a look at that. I'm going to be working in ArchiCAD 28, which is the version that the fit out tool came out in. So everything that we're going to be looking at is in ArchiCAD 28. You'll need to be using that to use fit out. If you don't currently have fit out and you're interested in trying it, or after this webinar at least you're interested in trying it, you can grab a free trial of the CI tools from myci.centralinnovation.com/free trial. Just sign up there if you aren't already signed up. If you're already signed up for MyCI, just log in, grab the tools installer, and away you go. There is a link on MyCI to our documentation as well to show you how to do the install and everything like that if you haven't done that before. And the free trial will run for 30 days. With full functionality, so it will do everything that the full version does. The only difference is that it will stop working after 30 days. Everything that you place using a fit out tool in that time will display and work properly. You just can't edit it anymore, and you can't create new, add new fit out rooms to your project after that point. So it'll sort of stop at a snapshot of what it looked like when the time ran out on the 30 days. So you're not going to lose anything or make your project look like a disaster when it runs out or anything like that. It'll still look as it did when it expired. So yeah, go grab a trial if you want to. And if you do choose to purchase later, you can purchase that online and it will instantly activate and start working right away. So you have that option to turn it back on again at any point if your trial runs out. All right. Before we start as well, just the usuals. If you have any questions, enter those in the chat panel as we go, and I'll see if I can answer them during the stream. If you think of them later or they're just not something that you want to bring up now, you can email them through to nz.support@centralinnovation.com. That will make its way through to me at some stage. I am always on the lookout for subjects to cover in this webinar because I kind of already know to some extent how the tools work, so I'm not quite sure what you guys want to actually see. So if you do have ideas for things you'd like me to cover, that would be much appreciated. Otherwise, yeah, I'll keep choosing things at random, like what we're going to do today. So into the fit out tool. So first of all, what does the fit out tool do? So as you can probably guess by the name, it's for doing fit outs. The idea here being that in ArchiCAD, in your projects, you'll already in most cases be creating rooms. You can see in my project here that I have a bunch of these zone stamps down, and each room is defined as a zone. So I've got bedroom, hallway, bathroom, kitchen, and living areas here. And the idea is to be able to use those rooms to define how the rooms are actually fitted out. So one of the things that is just kind of annoying and fiddly to do, I find, with preparing rooms is getting a bunch of furniture down into the room and not getting bogged down in messing around with making sure that everything's rotated to the wall correctly and fits into the space and isn't covering a window. And then if you move the contents of the room around or change the structure or something, having to rejig everything and rearrange it. So the fit out tool is aiming to help with that by essentially automating the placement of the fittings, the fit out into the rooms. So you tell it what room you want to place it in, you tell it what kind of room you want it to be, and it just sort of handles the rest of it for you, and it will juggle items around in that room if you later change the shape of the room and that sort of thing. So it's a nice and quick and easy way to get rooms that look like they are rooms already, even at a very early stage. Literally all you need is a zone, and actually, you could place them without zones if you want to, but they're only really useful with a zone. So essentially, you can draw up a building with just a bunch of walls, put some zones down, and then add fit outs at any stage of the project. So essentially, you don't have to do a bunch of the worrying about where everything is early on. And then at a later point in the project, you can choose to continue with the fit out. You can refine the fit out rooms to be more specifically what you wanted. You can convert the fit outs into regular objects if you have different ones that you want a replacement with, and that sort of thing. So they're not just a placeholder for fittings in the room. They can actually be your final fittings in the room, but they can also serve as just a placeholder until you get to the point where you do want to specify objects. You have the flexibility to go either way. And also everything in the fit out, which is what we're going to look at today, is available to be converted into individual components at any point so that they can then be scheduled in whatever way you would normally schedule room items. So the way that we get to the fit out tool is from the fit out tool in our toolbox here. If you don't have that already, just go to Options, Work Environment, Apply Profile, CI Tools Profile 28, and that will pop it in here as well as any other CI tools that you might have installed. And now we can just go and grab this from the menu here, and we'll see that we have a couple of rooms available. On the initial release of the tool, we had the bathroom, bedroom, and laundry, and we in an update a couple of months ago, we also released the consult room and the office fit out items. So what we can do is we can come in here and choose what kind of room we want. Let's start with a bedroom. And you can see that by default, it has some stuff going on in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to define how we want the room to work. And the idea being here that you set up a bunch of different sort of room templates as favorites, and then you can just place them without having to do any extra work. So I have a bunch of favorites that I've created already. So you can see that I have a double bedroom, master bedroom, and single bedroom. These are all the same fit out object. So they are the bedroom fit out object, but there are variations on those. So you can see the master is all yellow so that you can tell the difference easily. Has a double bed, and there's only one bed and it's a double. The mirror is a different shape and that sort of thing. Double has two beds, single dresser and bedside tables, and the single bedroom has just one of everything there. So you can go through and set up a bunch of different favorites for each of the types of rooms that you might want to define, or you can just create them on the fly. So we could just go in here and say, bedroom, this one here, I want to have two beds. I want to have two drawer sets. I want no curtains on this one, and I don't want a smoke detector. I want the bed to have a upholstered bed headboard, and I want the set of drawers to be face frame constructed, and it should be tall with shallow top drawer. So go with all of that, hit OK, and then we click to place on our zone, and it automatically, as you can see, fits everything into the room. So it makes all of the items that need to be against a wall rotated and placed up against their walls. So you can see all of those. It does things like put the bedside tables beside the beds, as you would expect. It doesn't cover windows. As you can see, it's staying away from the windows or doors there, so it can detect those and doesn't cover those. This window here, it's okay with because the window is actually quite high up. It's not sitting on the floor, so this one is fine for it to go up against, so it does so. And now that we've placed it, we can further rearrange it. So when I select the fit out, you'll see that it is a single fit out item, and I can easily manipulate the items in here, and it will just sort of follow its rules as it goes. So if I, for instance, grab this bed and move it to the other side of the room, you'll see as soon as I get close to the wall on the other side of the room, it automatically is going to rotate to face that wall. And if I click to place, it does so. Or if I click, if I click to place on, oh, why is that marker showing there? If I click to place on the actual wall, it will click there as well. So it automatically rotates to do what you what you would in most cases want it to do. So I can go and grab this one and move it over to the wall that it was on before, like so. Same with these dressers, move those to where they want to be, and that sort of thing. We can also move the biasing of where things fit. There's not a lot of space available in this room, but if we grab this center pointer and move it around, it'll give us variations that also work within our rules. So if I move this down a bit, it will sort of reshuffle things to work that way. We have forced it into a position where it doesn't work super well though, because of the width of the bedside table. This can't fit in and also do what we told it to. So we'll have to manually move this one back up out of the way. And then we can reshuffle it again by moving this again if we want to as well. So it gives you a good amount of control over how everything is placed. Obviously, everything that we're doing here is happening in 3D as well. So I'll show you that. Marking in here. So you can see all of those items there inside my room. And they are where they should be according to what you could see on the floor plan view there. So it makes it nice and easy to place down a room that is fitted out already, and then manipulate the whole room as a single item. So we're not really editing the beds in this room. We are editing the room's layout. And at the probably quite far along in the design process, this just makes it much easier to have to handle things because you don't have to worry about the fiddly little bits and that sort of thing. And the idea is that you get it, you leave it like this for as long as you need it to be, and then once you're ready to convert it into individual elements so that you can schedule it, or maybe you want to swap them out to something else, you can do that easily as well. So using the same fit out settings, we can click in the second bedroom and it will use the same rules to create a new room here. Obviously, it's laid out a little bit differently because the room is a different shape and size. And in this case, it also can't fit everything that we wanted in. So you can see we've got the beds overlapping here. So we can just delete that, go back into the fit out, and we're going to grab the single bedroom favorite instead. This one here, hit OK, and then click to place. And now we get a sensible looking room. So you can see that on this one in particular, we have some curtains showing on the windows. Those are part of the fit out. We have the bed that we created and the various bits there. The curtains are fitting to the size of the window. You can see the window here in blue underneath it. It automatically is fitted to the size of those, so you don't have to make sure that those are right or anything like that. Just makes it nice and easy to work with. And then we can move along and do the same for our other rooms as well. So we can grab the fit out, and we'll just grab a bathroom, put that in here. I don't have a kitchen one, so we're just going to go with consult room, put that in the kitchen. So you can see it lays out the chairs and the consult bed and the curtain. Obviously, this is mostly for healthcare work if you're doing that. And the office fit out will place over here in the living area, and it will do the same. So it places a desk, got a couple of chairs there, and computers set up on the desk and the mouse and that sort of thing. So you can see it's very quick and easy to go through and populate rooms in your project. One of the things that you might be asking, given what I just did in the kitchen, is can you do it with other rooms as well? The answer is at the moment, no. The fit out rooms that are available are the ones that you see here. So bathroom, bedroom, consult room, laundry, and office. We are working on some updates to allow you to make your own types of rooms as well, which will be coming later on this year. But yes, for now, those are the types of rooms that are available. So you can at least do those the quick way using the fit out tool, which is what that is for. So now that we've got those placed down, as I mentioned, this will serve you for probably quite a long way through the design process, I would say. These will just be a nice and easy to manipulate room fit out that you can easily work with as you are changing the shape and design of things. But you will get to a point where you want to either swap out the objects. So let's say maybe you have this bedroom here and you have a specific object of a bed that you want to place in here, or a specific dresser or something like that that you want to place. And so at some point, no doubt, you will want to swap this out to individual objects. So what we can do is we just select the fit out. So I have the whole room fit out selected here. Go to my CI Tools menu and go to Fit Out. And there's an option here to convert to components. So this is what we call these items. So the fit out itself is referred to as a fit out or as an assembly, which is to say that it is an assembly of multiple different items. The individual items themselves, though, we call components. So the dresser here is a component, the mirror is a component, the bed is a component, the bedside table is a component, the handrail that is sticking through from the bathroom because it didn't fit is a component, and the curtains are a component as well. So what that will do is it will turn those into individual pieces, kind of like ungrouping essentially. So we'll go CI Tools, Fit Out, Convert to Components. Everything will stay looking the same way as it was, but now they're all individual items. So you can see we've got our dresser here, we've got our bed and our bedside table here. And you can see that in this case, it's actually called bed assembly. And the reason for that is because the bed is 2 levels of assembly. So once we convert our fit out to components, the bed will stay as an assembly with the various other bits that are it's attached to. So in this case, that is a bed, a bedside cabinet, and a lamp. And we can explode it again to get all the way down to those individual items as well. So we go fit out, convert to components, and now we have a bed, a bedside table, and if I can select it, a lamp sitting on top of that. So just to have a look at the differences here, if I go into the fit out item, you can see that at the top level, we can define what is in the fit out. And then at each level below, you can see the bed assembly, which is referred to there. And then each of these puzzle piece icons refers to a specific component. So that's what we're seeing laid out here. And on each part, we have some metadata available here. So we've got a labeling system here, which is a code, a sort of a name and a number, and then a description for that thing as well. And this is to be used for scheduling, so that you can do like room sheets to schedule what is in each of the rooms. So these all know what is in them. So even though this is the high level fit out item, each of the parts inside the item, they have their own codes and that sort of thing. So you can see bed is B bed 3, bedside cabinet is BC cab 3, bedside lamps is L lamp 3, drawers D drawers 3, and they all have a short description there as well, so that you can show those in the schedule also. In this case, most of them are 3 because it is the third fit out that I have placed in the project. But in this case, this smoke detector is also the first one that I have. So that one's SD1. That's why we see that. And the curtain is the second one I placed. So it's curtain 2. That's what the number there is. It's just essentially the same as an ID at that point. So yeah, so we can predefine these in the fit out themselves. And when we explode this out into individual items, those will be carried through. So if I were to come in here and say that actually the beds should be code G and number 7, instead, when I explode those out, let's convert to components and then convert this assembly. Actually, we'll look at the assembly as well. So this assembly is still called G bed 7 as we told it to. So even though we have exploded at one level, it still remembers what we told it to. And if we were to explode it again, under label here, you can see it's still called G bed 7. So it retains those changes on the fit out level all the way down to the individual component level. So again, sort of working with the theme of the tool, you can make these changes at any point in the process. You don't have to wait until after you've exploded them, for instance, to change what the component labeling should be or something like that. Here we can actually see what we call each of the fields. So the single item, or the very short one, is called the code. Then we've got the name, and then the group, and then we've got the description. So code, name, and group are the three parts in there. Now, each of these items has a code, name, and a group. So the fit out has them, the assemblies have them, and the objects have them. So again, you can pull a schedule at any point. The reason you would want to explode them before scheduling is because if you schedule an entire room, it'll only schedule out as a single object when it is still a fit out. So this consult room fit out will will schedule as a single consult room item because that is what it is. And so that's why we need to explode it. So it will still have that label data that we gave it. It's just that it will be for the entire fit out, not for the individual parts. So now that we've exploded them out, what you can do is in your schedules where you want to see this information, these parameters are available here. So if you look in the description for any of the assemblies or components of the fit out tool, you can see we've got GSList code, and that is our code that we had there. GSList name is the name. GSList description is the description, and GSList group is the group code. So picking up those four parameters in any schedule will show all of those fields for any fit out object. So not just the bed. So if I go into the drawers instead and go into attributes and description, you will see the same parameters, D drawers, blah, 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 list group, description, name, and code. They're all the same. So we can create a schedule that grabs those for me. So if I grab a, do we have an object schedule? No, we don't. Just very quickly make a new schedule. Types objects. Just put in the library part name, and then we can go in here and we can say library part parameters. We can pick up any fit out object from this one because, as I say, they all have the same fields available. Let's grab one of the beds since that's what I was looking at. Here. And they were all prefixed with GS. So you can see we've got code, description, name, and what was the other one? Group. So we'll list those three. Hit OK. And you can see, obviously, my schedule is a bit messy, so I need to tidy up the names of the fields and that sort of thing. But you can clearly see that on all of my fit out items here, we have the code, description, group, and name scheduled here. So even though the different objects, they'll all schedule up that way. So makes it nice and easy to have a schedule that shows all of your fit out items at the point at whatever point that you're at, and obviously at the end of the stage when you want to produce these schedules, this information will just all be there for you because it's been there all along, and it just gets passed down sort of each layer of the fit out as you explode it further when needed. So that is the fit out tool in exploding things into schedules. So that was from the CI Tools menu, fit out and convert to components. Now you can't currently go back up from components. So if you convert down to components, you can't turn them back into a fit out. At this stage, it's a one-way process. The idea is to leave them as fit outs for as long as you need them to be. And then once you don't need them to be anymore, they become not fit outs anymore and you kind of can't go back. I'm not sure if going back is something that you'd want to be able to do. I'd be interested to hear if you do have like a use case to want to be able to do that. But for now, it is just one way, and that will do that for you. All right, so I'm just going to quickly check and see if we have any questions. So if you have anything that you wanted to ask, just add that in the chat panel, and I'll see if I can help. Okay, looks like we don't have any questions at this stage. So as I was saying, if you do have any questions that you think of later on or anything like that, please just email those through to nz.support@centralinnovation.com, or log into my CI and create a support ticket there, and that will make its way through to me. Also, if you have any ideas for future things you'd like to see webinars covering, maybe you want to know more about how to do fit outs, maybe you have questions about a completely different tool or something, whatever you are interested in seeing, I would love to hear about it. But otherwise, that's all from me for today. Thanks for your time, everyone, and I hope to catch you at the next one. Thanks.